everybody. It's Baron with One Chiropractic. And this is our last episode of Dr. Barwell. We've only got one more session where I'm going to wrap everything up, but we're getting near the end of this series. And I'm looking forward to this one, Doc. I mean, you and I have talked a little bit offline about kind of your thought process and wrapping this whole thing up. And so I'm excited to hear your thoughts. I mean, we are 48 sessions. That's how long this thing ended up going, which is just incredible. And I'm super excited because I just went through the analytics of this series, and we're right now averaging a 49% click-through rate, which means 49% of the people that started finished the series. And so we're over 1,000 people that are a part of this series.
Wow.
And that means that over half of them have made it all the way to the end, which is unheard of in this type of a format. So that just tells you how hungry the profession is for this type of information. It also tells me we're going to do another series at some point. So we've got more that we can share with people, and I'm excited to take that to the masses. But for the purposes of today's session, I'm going to hand this over to you and tell me your final thoughts here.
Okie dokie. We're going to have some fun today. I thought we could wrap it up with a little bit of humor and a little bit of the message wrapped in the humor. So just to sort of go back to the beginning, the intent of these webinars is to provide updated principles based on current evidence, which will enrich and empower the potential of the chiropractic profession. That's the whole bottom line focus of what we are trying to accomplish here. You know, while remaining vitalistic in nature, the goal is to provide greater understanding of the chiropractic adjustment's ability to improve neurological function in order to cope with and recover from the effects of stressors. That's it in a nutshell. Now, part of the reason that I do this type of a presentation where I put up a slide and I read through what's on the slide is because I know that the visual impact, you have a 90% greater retention with visual impact than you do by just voice. So what I do is I tell you what I'm going to tell you, and then I tell you, and then over the period of this series, we've told you what we're going to tell you. So we need to imprint. And if you read that article about the neurologist that you sent me, it was incredible about the imprinting.
Yeah.
This is a very important day for me. And I'll tell you why. I just got a notice from Facebook that 20 years ago today is when I founded Chiropractic Equity Offices. That's the parent company of the NeuroInfiniti and what we do with our teaching. 20 years ago today. And so it's sort of like, this is what we were trying to accomplish from the very beginning. And this is what's unfolded over those 20 years. And has it changed? And have I learned more stuff over the 20 years?
Sure.
Holy cow. Every day I learn something new. But that thing that you talked to me about, you sent to me about the imprinting, when I started CEO, one of the first classes I talked about was the power of imprinting the experience of the chiropractic care. And I had a whole series of things that I did in my office to improve that impact of the visit of chiropractic. So it's been a wonderful trip, and I want to thank you for being the vehicle that got the idea and brought this forward. It's been just a remarkable series, and to have that kind of 50% that have followed through over 40 of these things.
Yeah.
And you know right and well that some of them are just slowpokes and haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah. Oh, that's just as of right now. Yeah.
And one of them, and Dr. Terry Heck, I sent it to you.
Yeah.
And Terry Heck sent me an email saying that she's going to go back and look at them again.
Well, and that's the goal, right? Is that we rewatch these things, and hopefully people will rewatch the series until we come out with a second one so that they're fully prepared for that. It's just incredible, the responses that I'm getting. And I should have prepared it. Maybe I'll do that in my final one. I'll read some of the testimonials that have been coming back and the emails that we've been getting about the impact that this series has made. But it's been one of the most fulfilling projects I've had in my 23 years in the profession.
Wow, this is exciting. Well, let's see what we got next year. So just to go back and be clear, is our intent to correct vertebral subluxation, improve posture, restore joint movement, reduce pain, restore spinal curves, balance leg lengths, all of which we do, or is it our basic intent is to improve the neurological function? Because if we do just one of the ones above, we're stopped at that response level. But if you do the bottom one, it counts everything above.
That's right.
So changing your intent to a bigger picture to a bigger vision, to a bigger outcome is really, really important. So when you walk into your office in the morning, that you have it set in your mind that you're reaching to the highest level of brain function in that practice, it's really important because it changes your whole opinion of what you do in your mind and your value.
Absolutely.
So I love this. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room that's restricted chiropractic from day one is the theory of bone on nerve as cause. It served its purpose. It brought us to where we are. It kept us alive during the greatest attacks. However, there was a problem in that it limited what we were doing, and it was an unproven theory. So without an understanding of the foundation of vertebral subluxation or the ability to explain any chiropractic technique outside of the manual adjustment to get results, offered a limited future. And there's where the problem really started.
Yep.
I mean, we have all these other techniques that are not just about manually correcting a vertebral subluxation that we know get great results, but we just sort of said, well, it's chiropractic, but we don't really understand why. And that's not good enough. So it squashed the potential of the profession by just sort of staying and leaving it at that instead of investigating and saying there's got to be more to this. And we're sort of like that car underneath that elephant in the room going like, you're not going anywhere until you can really understand why this is happening in the first place. So I thought this is the way we do this today. We'd have some visuals and make it sort of fun as the same along the way. So here's an interesting picture. When I put this up in my presentations, I ask people what they see. And everybody says black camels. The problem is the camels aren't black. The camels are actually white. And what we're really looking at with the black camels is strictly the shadow of the white camel. It's the sun shining on the camel that creates this. And I hold that this really holds true for the chiropractic profession in our chasing of the vertebral subluxation for all these years to defend chiropractic.
Yeah.
We were chasing the shadow of the cause. And the cause was truly about neurological stress and brain function that was creating the vertebral subluxation. And if we can just shift that a little bit, it doesn't reduce chiropractic, the effect of chiropractic. It absolutely increases our potential to who we are. And it's just, that's a hard thing to get people to let go of that vision that they see, that they think is the truth.
Yeah, and I want to preface this again because we've had a couple comments. You know, we knew that there would be some people that are going to hold fast and feel like we're attacking the very roots of the profession. And I want to say it one final time. You and I have both said it numerous times throughout this series, but we are not stating that the subluxation or people that have been focused on the subluxation are rudimentary wrong. We're stating that that's not the cause. Something caused that subluxation. And until we get above that mindset, we're limited in our ability to communicate. And I'm telling you, nobody has communicated to more people in the profession or to the general public about chiropractic than I have. I've done it. I'm not the adjuster, so I'm the one that's always communicating it out in the world. And people get lost with bone on nerve. It only goes so far. But when I started talking about this and I started talking about brain and the body's effect of how it handles stress and the adaptability and the neuroplasticity of the brain, dude, it's endless. People get it. I'll read some of these in my next session. The comments we're getting back, we're having docs that have just watched some of these videos. They just changed a little bit of what they said. And they said they've already seen a massive shift in their patient's consciousness and their willingness to get treated. So this is not about saying that what we've been doing for 124 years is all bunk. It's about saying we didn't continue to go down the rabbit hole that BJ started. I mean, he's the one that questioned everything in the beginning, but our limited understanding capitated what he was talking about and Dede was talking about, and we just kept recycling the same mindset, saying that, and we clung on to that one verbiage that BJ said, it's your job to protect the sacred trust. Well, yes, but that doesn't mean, vertebral subluxation, and it stops there. It was the way of thinking of chiropractic, the idea that the body is a self-healing, self-regulating organism only when we have proper neurological function. And that's just what this series is taking us to.
This concept of the sacred trust being the vertebral subluxation isn't necessarily true.
Oh, I agree.
The sacred trust was the power of the chiropractic adjustment to change people's lives.
Right, I agree 100%.
That's the sacred trust.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
That's where we kept getting wired. And this is going to be bring it right into place. This is kind of upside down. I would say somebody's in trouble here. Being an ex-race car driver, this is not a good position to be in. Having been in some of these positions, I want to tell you the worst time of it is when everything gets really quiet because you don't know if it's stopped or you're just in the air. Mm. So here's the big question. Audio, above, down, inside, out. You know, we hear about this all the time in chiropractic, but the update should be OIUPDO. It's got to come outside, in, up, processed, down, and out. In other words, we only looked at audio, we only looked at the one aspect, the above, down, inside, out, but we weren't considering the sensory input and what was going on with the processing of that sensory input, where the subluxation actually happens, right, that affects the down and out. And so, and once again, these little key phrases we stuck in because we were all in the box of vertebral subluxation. And so we stayed in that box with our thinking, and we needed to move out beyond that and take a look at what was going on. So it was kind of upside down in the process.
Yeah.
So here's the thing that I like. The big question, and this is the huge question. Moving chiropractic from a structural challenge to a neurological foundation answers most, if not all, of the challenges that have plagued the profession for years. How does chiropractic work? What's it all about? How does one adjustment work over another adjustment? How do you explain non-manual techniques in chiropractic and working as well as manual techniques? All these questions that we have, where did the subluxation come from? All of these get answered with the concepts of neurologically based chiropractic. Absolutely. And it allows us to move forward. And so the big question, by the way, the bears do poop in the woods. And here it is. We've got our answer. We can move on. Okay? So the next thing is, where's the profession right now? Wow, look at what's going on in Canada. It's a mess. It is a total and complete mess. And there is a revolution going on in Canada right now. The CCA is in big trouble because of the stand that it's taken, because it's moved so far away from the foundations of chiropractic towards medicine and getting rid of neurological, and it's terrible. And now the chiropractors are saying, we're dropping out.
That's right.
We're leaving you, and we're going to someplace that's going to support what we know chiropractic truly is.
Yep.
So the profession, you know, those wanting to throw out the neurological component of chiropractic are in that belly of the beast. They've been swallowed and they're in big trouble. They're going nowhere, and they're going to end up being nothing more than physical therapy, because if you take the neural away, it's only physical therapy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So we know where the profession goes. We have to do something about it. So here's the thing, change issues. You know, you can stay doing what you have been doing. If it's working for you, great. You know, just remember that you're limiting your message of the value of who you are and what chiropractic truly does. So it's sort of like this, you know, you can update with modern concepts, and remember that the current research that's going on is not just research stagnant, it's continuing to unfold. And that article from the triple certified neurologist saying chiropractic is the answer, in New York, I'm working with the New York Chiropractic College. It's like, listen, folks, you better pay attention because the dam is broken.
Yeah. That article that's why I had to send it to you. I'm like, it's almost as if we wrote it when it talks about a specific chiropractic adjustment, right? I mean, it's even using our terminology when it comes to understanding the power and the specificity of what it is we're doing. And that for him to say at the end of the day, chiropractic's a missing link. I mean, in that article, it said that 100% retention for every addict to go through the program that was adjusted, only 50% for those that weren't adjusted. I mean, yeah. I mean, that just is incredible to me.
Well, and we've seen these kind of things before, but the problem has not been the research. The research has been it. The problem has been the chiropractors failing to change.
Right. Yeah.
And so you have chiropractic that, you know, the old style of chiropractic, it's a bit smelly and uncomfortable because it's based on an unproven theory, right, and a lot of dogma.
Yeah.
which kept us going, but it doesn't serve our purpose now. Or now you can go to the new easy to manage and better longevity approach of neurologically based chiropractic. So if you want the camel, yeah, you're welcome to it. I'm thinking a Mercedes. Okay. So I love this one. All I have to do is look at this and I start to laugh. So danger. And here's the real deal. The other health professions are all moving towards brain-based wellness.
Yeah.
It's coming from everywhere, even the physiatrists. That's the physical therapists that have a doctorate degree and are a primary entry into the healthcare are now looking at brain studies, and that's what they're talking about.
Yep.
And so, the New York program, it's there. So here's my suggestion to you. You can lead, follow, or get out of the way. And if you don't get what we're talking about and you want to stay with what you're doing, don't drag us backwards.
Right.
We'll leave you alone and you can practice the way you want to practice. And if we can be of help to you, we're here. But don't degrade the whole system and start an in-fight battle because we pressed your magic button and got you upset. And that's the thing about a lot of these guys who get really upset with what we're talking about is we've pressed a button.
Right.
And we know that they have the doubts, because I had doubts. When I was in chiropractic practice, I couldn't explain what was going on. So I had a lot of doubts and fear that somebody was going to hit me with a question that was going to really embarrass me because I couldn't answer it.
Right.
Which did happen, by the way. And so it pushed me to say, no, that's not good enough for me. I have to find out what the answer is. So, I hear the banjos playing. So just how important is the brain? This slide to me is incredible. And this is just one of them. This is all the magic stuff about the brain. Your brain by the numbers. Thickness of the human cortex, it's only 4 millimeters thick. That's like 4 credit cards stacked together. But that's where all your memories and your personality and your experiences are stored that makes you you. 86 billion neurons. It goes on. You start looking at this thing and looking at this thing, and it's amazing what the brain is all about. And that's the thing that we deal with. That's the subtle substance that we deal with. And we improve how this functions. I can't even, calculations per second, I can't even tell you what that number is. It's just huge. Per second. That's amazing. And we improve how that works. That's the amazing thing about all of this. So we need to take a look at just how impressive this really is. It's the central organizing authority of the body, and the research shows that how the chiropractic adjustment improves the function. Thank you, Heidi. And she keeps putting it out there. She's got another paper published on this. I cannot keep up with this woman. So again, it's your choice. Treat signs and symptoms such as back pain, or be part of the elevation of chiropractic to the highest level of brain therapy. What do you really want to practice? What do you really want to be known for in your community? A pain relief individual or someone who improves brain function? What do you think has better potential for your practice, for the profession? And you talk about what you were now doing a series on just cause. That's awesome stuff, by the way.
Good.
Talk about a just cause for being a chiropractor and for turning on the people of the world. This is it.
I agree.
So number 9, let's look at this one. Significance. I put these in here because I want you to see something here. This is part of my early studies. This is an EEG of both hemispheres on brain function of someone before an adjustment. This is the same person 20 minutes after the adjustment. You don't have to be a brain specialist. You don't have to be an EEG specialist to look at those two pre and post and see that there's something massive that's changed. Mm-hmm. Huge changes, which shocked the people that I was working with, 2 psychologists that I was working with, to be able to show that this is what the effect of chiropractic on brain function. These 2 are very interesting. The top one is me getting an adjustment in Toronto, live time in front of about 50 chiropractors, and getting a specific upper cervical adjustment by Dr. James Aldrich, who is a friend of mine, and that's me that I'm getting the adjustment on. And we had this hooked up live time. You can see the different colored bars going across, the reds and pinks and the greens and the yellows and the purples. That's all before. At point A is when he took up a contact for a KL adjustment on my atlas. At C, he delivered the thrust. What is so significant about this is the red and pink was my beta, my defense mechanisms, my non-healing brain, my non-healing frequencies went down, and my healing frequencies of alpha, the green and the yellow, went scorching to the top, and both hemispheres linked up. When you get a crossover, a single crossover of any of the frequencies, that's a significant moment. I had a massive change. I got up off that table, and I want to tell you, it was like the sky was blue. Mm-hmm. That's the power of the adjustment to change brain power. The bottom one, if you look at the two lines, and you'll notice that there's a point where they almost converge. Matter of fact, they actually cross over. You see where they both dip towards one another? Yep. This was a doctor and a patient. The doctor was the bottom line, the patient was the top line. They were both hooked up to EEG, and the doctor just ran his hand, didn't touch the patient, ran his hand along the spine, and when he hit an area of disturbance, both brains linked up. What we do is so subtle and so powerful that people do not understand the power of it. You don't even have to touch a person to find out what's going on with it. That's pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah, that's incredible.
We need to understand what we're doing. There needs to be so much more research done on this. Now this one, the expression of life is found in innate intelligence. It's how we view things. I've got another slide coming on. This one is about how we view things. So here's the thing. If you look at this, you see somebody looking straight at you, right? But do you see the side vision?
Yeah, you can see the profile as well, yeah.
It is the same picture. All we've done is look at it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And that's no different than what we're doing with neurologically based chiropractic. It really doesn't change any of the foundation of who we are as chiropractors or our belief system. It just gives us a different perspective that allows us to have much more potential and possibility for everybody.
Absolutely.
Patients, the profession, and the practice.
I will tell you, the profile has some serious forward head posture, though.
Yeah. Yes. This is the one about innate intelligence. I love this picture. You know, innate intelligence is the expression of life, yeah, and its ability to adapt and thrive. Innate intelligence is expressed through the nervous system. Dede told us this years ago, century ago. Chiropractic improves neurological function, and doing so, the ability to survive. And it's that simple. It's truly that simple. And so the ability to adapt and survive in the harshest of conditions, that's an example of what we're looking at right here. And yet life is there.
That's right. It's incredible.
Now, put a little fertilizer, give that plant a little bit of earth, the ground to it, it's going to do even better.
Yep.
It just needs an adjustment. The last thing I want to say today is this. Neurologically based chiropractic is the wave. It is the wave. It is the future. It is the power of the profession. And so you need to make a choice. You need to either surf on it or you're going to get dumped. And it's that simple. And if you've ever been dumped by a wave, it's not fun. And so with this, I just want to say thank you all for joining in, and thank you for being part of this. This is sort of my level of passing the torch on. I don't practice any longer, and I have, a limited time frame that I can keep doing this. And 20 years of working at it is something. I've got next year booking up for going to Sweden and going to Germany and going now to Alaska in October. I don't know if I'll thank you for that, but we'll see.
Oh, that's awesome. You'll love me for it.
And I've sort of cut back on the amount of travel I do because I'm finding that I just cannot keep doing it at this stage of my life. But my passion remains as strong as ever, and my hope for the future as strong as ever. So again, thank you for what you do and the service you render to this profession, my friend.
Well, I tell you what, this has just been incredible, Dr. Barwell. Thank you for being my light. We wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for me sitting and listening to you speak and it turning on a completely different aspect of my love for chiropractic. And we're not done, brother. We still got a lot of work to do together. I'm convinced that we're going to be the front edge of this sword that starts piercing through some of the walls that we've built in our profession. And we're going to keep going because I still got a lot of time left in my life, and I'm not going to let go of this bone. So I appreciate you so much. Thank you for your time, your energy, for giving the gift of your knowledge to everyone that's willing to listen to it. We just love and appreciate it, but we'll have you back soon before too long, my friend. I love you and appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. God bless. We got one more session. Hang in there, one last one, and we're going to end this series. So we love you. We appreciate you. Have an amazing day.